Hello, one and all, and welcome to the channel. My name is BiggerChex. I'm a variety streamer and content creator at heart, but I have a very particular interest in Warhammer 3, and we got a huge update out today for the Thrones of Decay DLC. Now, with that being the Thrones of Decay, gotta focus on Nurgle first. If you want me to check out the other lords, just let me know, but I'm gonna focus on Nurgle first. Specifically, if I get it tabbed in here, Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord.
A world drowned in rot is no mere dream.
Very fun. From what I have done, or from what research I've done on Nurgle, that the Lord isn't actually the ogre itself. It's the maggot controlling the corpse of said ogre and being corrupted by Khorne. And he's got this awesome plague toad dragon thing. Just looks cool as hell in the intro screen selector. This is first reaction, so I've just done research on the Lord himself and just watching what Total War has released. Don't know too much about him, but just wanted to get my initial reactions on film. Looks like he has access to Tamurkhan's chieftains, providing unique heroes, units, and abilities. That's pretty cool. Plus 10% movement range, not too terrible. And recruitment health is plus 10% for all non-demonic units. So again, going to that Nurgle Plague Father type vibe. Wound recovery time is already a -3 for Lord effects. His ability off of spawn is Nurgle's favorite son, which is a 40-second duration of melee boost and damage resistance, or melee defense, excuse me. +5 melee attack for all non-demonic units in the Lord's army, and immune to psychology for non-demonic units for the Lord's army as well. Let's see where he starts out. He starts up in the Chaos Waste. This is right next to Archaon and the Chaos Dwarfs, as well as Grand Cathay. You're fairly close to the Empire and Kislev. There's a bunch of dwarves in here, so you're going to be fighting a lot of people right off the rip. Makes sense. You got your lore for Nurgle, and then Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord himself. As a powerful Chaos Lord and one of the greatest Kurgan champions of Nurgle in recent history, his divine patron has blessed him with the ability to burrow into almost any host, taking control of their body as if he were its puppet master. Though his reeking maggot corpse has commandeered many faces, the ogre tyrant Karaka Break Mountain has become a favored host. Very powerful body, or seemingly endless and bent on destroying the world. So yeah, chaos, destroy the world, spread disease, Nurgle stuff. Let's check out his campaign, or at least the start of it. See what's what. About the realm of chaos, the borderlands of the mortal world form a ring of shadow that surrounds the ultimate darkness within. Contrary to the arcane creatures and powerful beings that lurk across the nightmarish landscape, the northern extremes are undoubtedly part of the material world, but inevitably tainted by their close proximity to the realm of chaos. Should one travel into the waste, they would find themselves laboring beneath the storm-shaken sky, continuing at their mortal peril. Words alone are incapable of describing that which lies beyond oblivion's veil. This has been a dramatic reading of Warhammer. Be sure to tune in for more. Either way, this is going to just be a quick intro. We're going to check him out in battle, some of his buildings, where, starting location, what you want to do. From what I've seen and what I've done, you're going to be sort a more aggressive type of Nurgle Lord, which I'm grateful for. Nothing against Kugath, but someone who can sustain in melee, especially in an ogre's body, combined with the powers of Nurgle, seems like a very powerful melee combatant dealing with, chafe. I don't know if they'll be a necessarily good duelist, but we'll see. We will see, won't we?
From the farthest reaches of the Chaos Wastes, he came, spreading decay in the name of Nurgle. Many heroes fought fiercely to defend their lands, but all fell. Their lifeless corpses, pierced by his razor-barbed teeth. Powerful fighters, made unwilling host to the Maggot Lord. And so, Tamurkhan remains a parasite in the putrefying body of an ogre tyrant, amassing a war host the likes of which has never been witnessed. Rot will consume all.
Okay. Fun little intro cinematic. Love the artwork. And we're getting things started.
All will be overrun by blight or by conquest.
Very nice. Okay, paths to victory. Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord seeks to conquer the Throne of Chaos as its greatest champion, wielding the plagues of Nurgle and aided by the services of powerful chieftains of chaos from across the world. Performing deeds looked upon favorably by each chieftain grants the Maggot host access to their associated units and unique powers, eventually leading to each chieftain's final battle. Having enough chieftains reach the devoted level of fealty will lead Tamurkhan to his campaign victory. Recruits Kays the Befouled. Defeat the army going to Dolgan. So we're getting our first few starting missions. We don't have plagues accessible yet. We need 200 infections. And then we don't have access to chieftains just yet. I must attain a level 7 dominance. And dominance of Nurgle's chosen one grows with every conquest. Excuse me, Nurgle's corrupted me already. With every conquest, allowing Tamurkhan to amass great influence. So let's see. Battles 1 seems to be the main way you're going to be able to gain this. There's other, and then events. And then you spend dominance on chieftain abilities, chieftain's units, chieftain's pledged, and events as well. So in-game events will both gain and spend your dominance points, but it looks like Battles 1 will be the main way you gain it. And then infections, of course, can be gained through buildings, events, captives, looting, sacking, raising missions, plague spreading, and technology. It gets consumed by buildings, plague creation, and technology as well. That is sort of the very gist of playing Nurgle. Your whole goal is to basically spread disease and pestilence as much as possible. We'll get a look at the tech tree. And this is the rework for Nurgle, and I'm happy that they did it. There's faction and military. It just makes things a little easier, because as far as I can tell, there was some confusion on his initial tech tree and how it was expanded. So I believe this is reworked. And we're just getting a look at fecundity. Heal per second. Yeah, I mean, this is just me. You can go faction first, but I'm probably going to focus military first. And especially with an army ability like this, I want that as soon as possible. Getting that within 2 turns is pretty nice. And then we get a look at our big bad boy himself, Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord. Starts off with a couple of Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. We get Pestigors, which I believe is a new unit as well. Plague Ogres, another new unit, and Rot Knights, another new unit that has not been in the game. So, fairly new roster. You get a default, Chaos Warriors or Norska army to fight. And then let's get a look at our building browser. Okay, so this is somewhat similar from what I'm seeing from Nurgle, but I believe the research and tech tree is a bit new. You get your sort of base level units over here, and then different composts and buildings and whatnot. So you have your basic military. I don't know if this necessarily takes up. No, it does take up a spot. Makes sense if it didn't. I'm fairly new when it comes to Nurgle as well, so don't judge me too harshly. I'm gonna focus on getting growth. Just the faster our growth is, the higher level settlement we can get quicker. Essentially, we get access to higher level stuff quicker the more growth we have per turn. So, focusing on growth, we unlocked plagues because we were able to spend some money, spend some whatever. We got it unlocked. They'll give you a quick rundown. Right now, casualty replenishment rate is plus 10%. Plague effects on non-Nurgle armies will all units suffer attrition. So you need at least 3, it would seem. We'll see if we can get 1. Melee defense plus 4, melee attack, the liquefying pox. And then we can decide to infect. Go from there. So now this settlement has that plague we just created. So if anyone attacks that settlement, they'll be infected with that plague. Either way, let's get into battle. This is what we wanted to see. We can auto this, but we want to see our big boy go to work against Dolgun and Charon of the Gore Hunt. Fairly basic, kind of shite army. It is most of your intro battles for any lord are going to be, you know, a warm-up fight, a tune-up, as it were. Get you comfortable with the mechanics if you're new to the game, and also just get a quick rundown of everything. Both in-game battle mechanics are huge for these early fights. These is really just to set the stage for you as a player. Obviously, there's going to be more challenging, larger-scale battles, but again, this is all about making sure that you sort of get the gist of how to play the game. And if you're just jumping into Immortal Empires without playing the tutorial, I highly recommend you play the tutorial first. Granted, Warhammer 3 is getting a lot of attention right now. In most games do when they drop new DLCs and new content. So it's just about capitalizing on that, I should say. If you are looking to play with people or just get involved in the game itself. So let's get a look at our units here. We got our Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. These are units that have been in the game before. Very high armor, strong attack. They are armor piercing as well, so you really want these guys fighting like larger units, I'd say. They're not anti-large, but they'd still be good at fighting like cav or heavily armored infantry. Let's take a look at our Pestigors, also using two-handed axes, similar to our Chaos Warriors. However, the difference between these two is these guys are going to be a little faster. Just a little bit, has about 10 extra speed. They have significantly less armor and weapon strength, it looks like. So these guys are more for mobility and movement. And as you can see, they have Vanguard deployment so they can get up close and attack quicker. However, we don't want to leave them out in the open to be overwhelmed, so we'll leave them as more of a flanking unit. Now, our new guys, other than our Pestigors. Pestigors I'm somewhat familiar with because I play Beastmen, and I think they're just sort of reskinned a bit, but it's still nice to see that new factions are getting access to different units. But anyways, the stars of the show are Plague Ogres, big, heavy hitters, anti-infantry. They have an Ogre charge, so it's just going to hit hard. And when attacking brace charge defenders, the unit only loses half of its charge bonus, which is actually kind of huge. So you want to send these up against, you know, shielded units. Probably these Marauders won't stand too much of a chance against these Plague Ogres. Big weapon strength, a lot of melee attack, somewhat poor armor, so they can be targeted by range, so just be careful with your big boys and not let them get overwhelmed too quickly. And then what I'm really excited to see is the Rot Knights. Armor piercing, anti-large, they regen and have poison attacks. So just very, very scary. Obviously, you know, they got their spears, they're anti-large. Just looks really, really cool. Looks like modified Forsaken units on top of, like, Nurgle Fleshhounds. Very cool looking unit. Should be very fun to use in this battle. We'll get our guys lined up in melee front. We'll put them down here. Oh, then of course Tamurkhan, the Maggot Lord, in the flesh. It's got his Nurgle's favorite son ability. We also have a Curse of the Slug, which heavily degrades speed and charge speed, so very good against anti-cav, or very good against cav and just high-speed units, so fighting like Slanesh or just the Empire with a lot of their cavalry or fast-moving units, this would come in very handy. Will spread to enemies within the spread range meters of affected unit. It can affect up to 5 units. Very cool. So we'll keep our knights over there.
Maggot Lord.
These guys right here. There we go.
Bringer of desolation.
And we'll send everyone just to attack.
The battlefield
Get in there, get
is where I
involved.
grow stronger. I will make them
Okay, let's see
confess.
here. I'm gonna send my big boy, my Chaos Warriors after their Berserkers. These guys can go there. I'm gonna have my Plague Ogres fight their Trolls. Just big boys against big boys.
Love the sick.
And then my Rot Knights, I will set up for a flank on their Hunters or their range troops. And then Tamurkhan, I want you fighting. I want you in the scrap. I want to see some of his animations. See how he fares.
Thrones of Decay. The corruptor's will.
I was like, I hope they're a bit faster than that, but I realized I had them walking instead of running. We're charging uphill, so we're at a slight disadvantage already, although we are the attacking force. I'm just trying to get my Rot Knights into position. Looks like their Berserkers are going to try to give chase, but instead refocus on my infantry, which was the right idea. And let's see our Plague Ogres get to work in the scrap and in the melee. Here comes Tamurkhan with a big old swing. We're just going to pop that ability right off the rip, because why not?
Wounds will fester.
We'll see how these Rot Knights do against the Ogres, because the Berserkers and everybody wants to fight. We'll have to fight the Trolls first. Already doing some good damage off that initial charge, and we're in the thick of it now, folks. Okay, so he's got a big overhead, it looks like. Because good splash damage. Already close to a 1k damage dealt. I'm going to try to get him fighting with their chieftain. If you can get through their chafe. And already, wow, the Norse controls just got obliterated by these Rot Knights. I mean, tons of damage. That poison really affecting them. Just giving them a whole bunch of debuffs. They're already retreating.
Moment comes.
These Rot Knights just obliterated those Trolls. Now I can send them after the Hunters. Everyone else is doing good, retreating,
Nago's favorite.
or fading already. Tamurkhan doing just fine. Again, those Rot Knights really strong. I mean, they are just chunking away at this health, and all of this poison damage is insane.
We are the
I mean, they
foe.
took out 2 units in like less than a minute. That is insane. These Rot Knights are going to be fun to use. I can already tell. They're a very powerful unit off the start.
Son of Nagel. For the Fly Lord.
Just coming in to assist our Chaos Warriors. The Berserkers are berserking. They're full rampaging. Don't really need to use this ability, but I want to see just if it has any sort of in-game effect. Typical spell effect. Very fun green puffs of smoke coming in. Hasn't gotten any big hits in on the Chieftain, though. Not yet, anyways.
Virulent warfare.
Okay, Trolls came back, so
Warriors of Nagel.
we'll have the Rot Knights engage with them. And again, just that poison damage is so strong. There we go. Just like that. So fairly quick, you know, less than 5-minute battle, but we saw the effectiveness of the Rot Knights. Ogres got 84 kills, 8,500 damage dealt, so again, very strong. Kind of the middle of the road for all of the rest of our units. Tamurkhan got about 3k damage, only 300 gold value, but our Rot Knights, 17,000 damage, 1,600 gold value. Rot Knights, very, very strong. Decisive victory, of course. It's your starting battle. It's going to be relatively easy. We'll get a full recap of the damage after the fact, because I'm pretty sure that'll eliminate the full army. But Tamurkhan and the Rot Knights especially are impressive. Like, really, the Rot Knights are the stars of the show, I think. Plague Ogre's pretty cool. It's a nice reskin of the Ogre units. Pestigors hopefully will be added to the Beastmen's roster. Just, you know, they're sort of chaos undivided, but I think each lord has different ties. I know Taurox is heavily tied to Khorne, so I wouldn't mind seeing some Khornite Beastmen in the future. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. Either way, fairly easy starting battle. We didn't take too much damage. Our Rot Knights even got 2 levels of experience with the amount of damage they dealt. So again, I'm going to be hyping up the Rot Knights, but they are very, very strong, very, very fun to use. Can't stress that enough. I'm excited to see how they fare against some other troops and just the amount of damage that they can deal out and how quickly they move for a Nurgle cav. I mean, we're used to like plague toads and stuff, but this is a very dangerous Nurgle unit. They didn't take any damage. And we can either choose to incubate captives, devour them to replenish, or offer as tribute. We're just going to incubate to get some more infections. We clear that army off the map. We get some infections in total favor. And we're going to put the gallows tree under siege. And just encircle for now, but very fun lord to use. We'll get a look at his skill set. And, you know, some of these early ones, you know, the heroic killing blow is fairly typical. We get an I guess a boost to his regen, but a weakness to fire damage, which is typical of Nurgle troops. Gonna be hyping up the Plague Ogres with the Puppet Tyrant, just because he's an ogre as well. And then, of course, the Toad Dragon, the Lumbering Horror. Ability number of uses, Unspeakable Foulness, which is their breath attack. And then giving the Toad Dragon units unbreakable for all armies faction-wide is insane. That is a very large, very scary unit, and turning it unbreakable is scary. That unlocks after unlocking the Reputed Son of Kurgan, which unlocks at rank 12. So a lot of fun abilities, a lot of stuff to unlock. That is Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord, folks. Hopefully you enjoy playing him. I know I will. I'll probably be streaming playthrough with him later tonight, so please be sure to tune in. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. So long. Farewell.